Oh my god, guys, the Oscars is gonna be on tonight. Did you know Lady Gaga is gonna be down there? She's gonna be singing the Maverick song. Is she gonna go up there and go da na 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 na? I don't know, but I just can't wait for her to be up there. And Jimmy Kimmel's hoping that there's not gonna be any blood. But definitely tune in because we don't have anything else planned. We just need to go ahead and attract eyeballs some way or another because nobody else actually cares about this. No, don't pay attention to any of the stuff that's actually happening on the ground. All the famous people that, regardless of what side of the political aisle you're on, detest you. Detest every single fiber of your being. They don't like you. They don't care about you. So feel free to reciprocate because there's more pressing things going on right now. Well, like I said yesterday, I don't really think that there's going to be a gigantic financial crash off the back of SVB, Silicon Valley Bank we're talking about, folding up. I don't think we're going to get there. Obviously, there's going to be a ripple effect, and as we're seeing right now, 2 more banks seek to reassure customers after Silicon Valley Bank collapse. And tomorrow's going to be a pretty good bellwether because all of the markets are going to get back open. Everybody's going to get back to the office and start pulling out their hair like, oh my god, what are we going to be doing? I have no idea what to do. Those are going to be really interesting, but everybody's going to be talking about what those 3 women, I think they're all, I legitimately have no idea who either 3 of those wonderful women are. They all look fine, but I don't know what they're supposed to be famous for. So yeah, let's take a look which banks could be following a similar fate. They're seeking reassurances because they were doing the exact same stuff that SVB was doing. Maybe not entirely. So California-based First Republic Bank, California, and Arizona-based Western Alliance Bancorporation, both attempted to calm nerves around the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank after shares for both financial institutions plunged in the past week or so. About a week or so. First Republic Bank told customers that their deposits were safe amid fears of spillover caused by SVB's collapse late last week, as the shares of First Republic Bank dropped 33% over the past 5 days. So they're not completely boned yet, but they're well on their way, I guess. The filing reiterates First Republic's continued safety and stability. Right, we just need to, get some insurance out there because we're very, very safe and secure with our positions. That's kind of the opposite, whatever. Strong capital and liquidity positions. The filing stated First Republic's deposit base it's very strong, it's the most strong, it's the best strong, and very well diversified. Diversified in imaginary and fictitious funds? Is that what we're talking about? Consumer deposits have an average account size of less than $200,000, and business deposits have an average account size of less than $500,000. US Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, FDIC, who has taken over SVB in totality until they can go ahead and get everybody's money out of the system, insures deposits up to $250,000 per depositor per insured bank. For each account category, there were reports that about 85% of Silicon Valley Bank accounts weren't insured, as the financial institution was often used by tech firms and startups. Oopsie daisy. Within business deposits, no one sector represents more than 9% of total deposits, with the largest being diversified real estate. Of course, that makes the most sense. It's the most expensive financial class, but it's also the one with the biggest returns, if you know anything about that. Technology-related deposits represent only 4% of total deposits, First Republic also said. Its investment portfolio was less than 15% of the total bank assets, and only less than 2% of total bank assets are categorized as available for sale. Like First Republic, shares of Western Alliance have also plunged about 35%, and they all just, copy and paste the exact same stuff. Basically, this is just kind of a rope, or rather a line that's getting cast out into the ocean. Hey, government, you got any of that government money that's out there? Just in case anything goes wrong. Don't worry, customers, though. Everything's gonna be fine, right? Well, I actually didn't anticipate any sort of development when it comes to this stuff, but it looks like somebody's working this weekend. It's not Joe. Nobody knows where Joe's at this point. Not even Joe himself. Biden administration makes a major announcement after Silicon Valley Bank collapse. Guess what? no refunds. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen announced Sunday that the federal government would not bail out now collapsed Silicon Valley Bank. So they're dead. They're done. They aren't like the auto manufacturers, and nobody's getting bailed out this time around. Right now, unless a bunch more banks start to fall off on Monday, but Monday's a long ways away at this point in time. During a Sunday interview with CBS News' Face the Nation, Yellen did not provide any concrete details what her agency or what the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation might do to protect the depositors. Oh, cash, right. But the Treasury Secretary, formerly an Obama-era Federal Reserve Chair, of course, because it's a big incestuous pool that the establishment types all play in. Like, nobody's not at least connected on 3 different levels within that entire administration. But the Treasury Secretary, I already covered that, lost my spot, emphasized that SVB's situation was different than the financial crisis that erupted in 2008. Very much so. And it's one of, if not the most prolific examples of get woke, go broke. Because we're going to take a look at some of the people who were pulling the strings down there at SVB, and oh boy, did they have the right priorities. Especially the people that were supposed to be in charge of certain things. They weren't exactly taking their job seriously. And this is why, this is more than likely just going to be very contained phenomenon. What do I mean by that? Well, there's a reason that the Academy Awards is overshining all of this, is because there's a lot of corporations that are looking at this and it's like, oh fuck, that was the bank for all of the startups in Silicon Valley. Like, there was a lot of money at play here. And at the end of the day, regardless of how many corporations want to virtue signal how great people they are, they want to bend over backwards, they throw up their rainbow logos in June, they got their pink ones out for Women's History Month in March. But at the end of the day, they don't actually care. It's still a business when it's all said and done. So this story is just going to evaporate into the wind as soon as possible. Just like the FTX collapse, because Sam Bankman-Fried, it's weird how all of these letters are just kind of intermixed. Well, there's only 26 letters to be completely honest, so there's just a lot of overlap. SBV and SBF. Interesting. Let's try to keep this straight. They're both very well connected with the Democrats. So story comes, the story goes. It's like, oh, that was a black guy. Okay, we all just need to go out there. We need to reform our practices. Okay, we don't need to have more egg on our face like this anymore. That's what we're going to get out of this one, because peek this. SVB had no head of risk assessment because there was a story running around. We'll get to her. We'll get to her very shortly. She was supposed to be the head of risk assessment. Supposed to be the head of risk assessment. Would be fairly important given the fact that they just ran out of money. Oopsie daisy. We don't have enough money to cover all of our users out here like that. So we're going to have to go ahead and raise like $2 billion in funds. Oh, wait, it's closer to like 14. Oh, fuck. Well, Biden. Yeah, no, shit doesn't work like that. But yeah, there was no head of risk assessment, although I'm sure her name was probably still on the plaque. It was definitely on the website, and we'll peek that for a second, for 9 months. 9 months! 3/4 of the year. 9 months. She was gone. She was oot before it collapsed, as woke boss in Europe, Middle East, and Africa was busy organizing a month-long pride campaign and a Lesbian Visibility Day. Well, normally lesbians do have a visibility problem. That's because their partner just likes to resort to a good stiff right hook. There is no classification of domestic partnerships that have a higher rate of domestic violence than lesbians. I think everybody knows that. It normally just ends with a whole bunch of tears and a U-Haul pulling away. And let's be completely honest, as somebody who's got some stories to tell, there's no such thing as lesbians. Oh, we could go down that path, but that's another story for another day. We already got something equally as hilarious. The collapsed Silicon Valley Bank had no risk assessment head for 9 months. The bank's previous head left in April of 2022. Her replacement wasn't named until January. Who is, well, the person that's just overseeing the total and complete collapse. So yeah, she was handed a tire fire that was already just a full bore. It's like, well, what do we do? Oh, let it burn. Just wait till the fuel to run out. There's nothing we can do. Collapsed lender. Silicon Valley Bank operated without a chief risk officer between April 2022 and January 2023. That's a long ass time. While the operation's United Kingdom based head of risk stands accused of prioritizing pro-diversity initiatives over her actual role. You want to know why this story is basically out of the headlines today? That's because all of these policies, all of these gender studies graduates, because the hiring practices of all of these places, they don't care what degree you have. If they have a certain amount of boxes that need to be checked, they don't care what your degree's in. You want to work at a bank, you'd think that, hey, maybe an accounting degree would be helpful. No, man, you got a fine arts degree and you're a minority, you are in like Flynn. And that's why these places are in the spot that they are right now. So that's why, because there are token board members on every single big corporation. You goddamn well better believe it. So they're taking a look at this situation and it's like, oh fuck, so what specifically led to its downfall? Prioritizing woke policies like this. So now the belts have had to have been tightened over the past year, 2 years, 3 years at a bunch of different places. They're figuring out really quickly that this experiment, they're going to have to wrap it up real quick. The revelation comes after the firm began the largest bank collapse since 2008 financial crisis. Yes, Washington Mutual. And it's actually the second largest overall, but we'll get to the nice little graph that the Daily Mail has down here in a second, disclosing a $1.8 billion loss in its finances. SVB's former head of risk, Laura Izuriat, who formerly performed a similar role at Capital One, left the bank in April of 2022. She wasn't replaced until January 2023 when the bank hired Kim Olson. Here's Kim. Hi. You look exactly like the person that I would expect working at a bank, bob haircut and just thin lips and wearing pearls. It's like, if I was to draw somebody from scratch who would work at a bank, that's the person 100 times out of 100. That's who I would expect to see staring against me. I'm totally cool with that. 100%, man. She was probably decent at her job. She was just given an unwinnable position. Formerly of Japanese bank Sumitomo Mitsui Gesundheit. The bank announced Olson's hiring in January with a press release saying she brought 30 years of financial services experience. Wow, somebody who's actually been in the trenches before. Yeah, no, if only you would have hired her back in April of 2022, things might have worked out a little bit different. But no. You guys had different plans, right? Because you hired diverse lady of color who had all of her pronouns that were down there, and you guys were just gonna show the big boys in the banking industry that you can do it just as good if you just make people feel good. The banking industry doesn't run on feels. It deals exclusively on reals. They knew that this shit was just doomed to fail eventually, and now all of these tolls are finally coming due. Jay Ersapah describes herself as a queer person of color from a working class background. Great. Who would you rather hire? Honestly, if you were the boss of this place, who would you hire? A queer person of color from a working class background or somebody with 30 years of financial experience for your head of risk assessment? Not a small position. If you were hiring a greeter, I might go... actually, though, she might just only address certain people if they, present their pronouns first. So, Kim's really just running away with this. SVB had an impressive track record of sound growth and remaining true to its strategy of serving the innovation economy. I am excited to lead SVB's outstanding risk management team. Well, we heard from a friend that it's outstanding. It's not like there was one there beforehand. And continue to build SVB's risk management framework and capabilities in this important next chapter of the firm's trajectory, Olson said at the time. The bank CEO, Greg Becker, credited Olson's deep and multifaceted financial services experience as a senior risk leader and former regulator and bank supervisor positions her perfectly to actively manage SVB's financial and non-financial risks. Yeah, that's all great and fantastic, but it was done and dusted, signed, sealed, and delivered. It was a wrap by the time that she showed up, and she was probably one of the people who was pushing. It's like, listen, we need to get a whole bunch of capital here real quick because, basically all of our deposits aren't insured at all whatsoever. So we need to figure out how to do this. Like, okay, where is everybody going? It was done for her. Sorry about that. Meanwhile, Ersapah, who acts as the CRO for the bank in Europe, Africa, and the Middle East. You know, not a small amount of land that she has to cover there. Who works and describes herself as a queer person of color working from a working class background. I bet if you dig through that, she probably just came from an affluent white neighborhood. So let's just stop it. Organized a host of LGBTQ initiatives. Honestly, I thought that we were transitioning over, not like that, but transitioning over to another article, because we went from just straight facts, somebody who's good for the job, somebody who has experience in the job, somebody who's going to come in and lead a team, to, hi, we got a bunch of gay shit that we want to push on everybody. I know that we're like a bank and stuff, but people need to feel like they're being seen, okay? But yes, including a month-long pride campaign and implemented safe space catch-ups for staff. The meme has come to life. No, guys, this stuff was just always going to stay in universities. What could possibly go wrong? Just like conservatives giving up the entertainment space. Oh yeah, what's going to happen? Oh, only kids care about entertainment, and now you're just worried about your kids being programmed from the moment that they enter the system with a bunch of propaganda. Who could have possibly seen that happening? Anywho, Pride campaign and the corporate video published just 9 months ago. She said she could not be prouder to be serving or work for SVB. Why is that difficult to say? Serving underrepresented entrepreneurs. Yeah, they're even underrepresented by your insurance company. Professional network, outstanding, listed Ersapah as the top 100 LGBTQ future leader. Great. Wonderful. That's about as ringing of an endorsement as Jim Cramer. Anyways, Jay is a leading figure for the banks. Why do we got to steer into? Oh, figure. Awareness activities, including being a panelist at the SVB's Global Pride Town Hall to share her experience as a lesbian of color. The intersectionality will... There is never too many intersections for these people in order to just claim a certain status. It's just the victim hierarchy. Oh, you're a woman? Okay, you already got a leg up. Oh, you're a person of color? Oh, you get another leg up. Oh my God, and you love to scissor? Well, just, you know what? Hey, go to town. What's your job again? Oh, that's right. Raising pride awareness, much more important than risk assessment. She's a future leader, guys. But yes, moderating SVB's EMEA Pride... Yeah, whatever. Is that another failed studio that EA bought up? Pride Town Hall, and was instrumental in initiating the organization's first ever global safe space catch-up. Oh my God, it probably smells like box wine. Supporting employees in sharing their experiences of coming out. What does that have to do with banking? Legitimately, what does that have to do with anything? Her bio on the outstanding website states, it adds that she is allies with gay rights charity Stonewall. Of course she is. And has authored numerous articles to promote LGBTQ awareness. I'm pretty sure we're all aware of it at this point in time. And if you're not, please tell me where you live, because I would love to go to that place where I don't have to be inundated with fucking flags with stupid little triangles with an ever-evolving cast of colors to be thrown on there. Can't wait to see what monstrosity rolls up in a couple months' time. Lord have mercy. These include Lesbian Visibility and Trans Awareness Week. No, that's all right. We see you, and about 41% of them, we see them swinging. Separately, she was also praised in a Facebook post by the group's diversity role models. Aw, that's adorable. None of this has to do with actually her position that she was hired for at the time. Yeah, interesting. Charity which campaigns against homophobic, biphobic, and transphobic bullying in UK schools. Fantastic. So she has an after-work project that she needs to get accolades for. Who cares? The corporate document for the bank, she said, you can't be what you can't see. Has always been a quote that stuck with me. Can't be what you can't see. Oh, numbers on a screen equating to financial wealth. Oh, okay, interesting. And you work for a bank? Oh, at least you pretended to work for a bank. Interesting. I feel, Merch, privileged to help spread awareness for lived queer experiences. And you're wondering why this place failed, huh? Interesting. Partner with charitable organizations, and above all, create a sense of community for our LGBTQ plus employees and allies. Ersapah hails from the UK. Of course she does. Where she studied an undergraduate economics degree at the University of Warwick. Oh, at least she has an economics degree. Put that to good use. Hi, I put rainbows everywhere. Stunning and brave. She describes herself as unemployed, as somebody who led directly to the collapse of one of the largest financial institutions in Silicon Valley. Like, what are we doing here? Profile also boasts her interpersonal skills, growth mindset. Well, yeah, you better figure out how to network so we don't see you on OnlyFans. And the ability to lead high-performing teams. I fucking doubt that highly. Last year, she featured in a corporate SVB video which purported pro-LGBTQ credentials. This is what I've seen 100,000 different times it's out there. Basically went through all of this stuff as well. Yeah, I've seen this make the rounds over, the past couple of days here, but is it really any shock that this place went under? J. Ersapah. You can't be what you can't see has always been a quote that stuck with me. Bitch, you had to put that down twice in different places. That shit's so corny. A DRM ensures that the future generations are seeing, well, if everybody's gay, there's not going to be any future generations. What are you talking about? Such a variety of role models, and I could not be more excited and privileged to be a part of the organization's journey. I thought privilege was bad. Bad, Jay. Bad with all of your privilege. But yeah, no, she's basically gone dark off the internet, which kind of sucks, because I would have laughed at all of her, let's be completely honest, anti-Trump posts that were all over Twitter. Let's just, not play coy at this point in time. It never fucking fails. Whenever there's some catastrophic failure like this, whenever somebody has a social media outlet, they just have thousands and thousands of anti-Trump posts. It's a fun little game. It's just as much fun as playing the Florida Man game. It just never fails to disappoint. Unlike Jay. We proactively make our mission at SVB to ensure that our clients, employees, and partners feel listened to and that their voices matter. Yeah, but what about their money, though? What about that? From funding underrepresented entrepreneurs. Oh, that's why you guys went out of business. That's normally how investors go out of business. Oh, wait, you got a good product? No, we're underrepresented. Oh, please just take all of the money. I could not be prouder for working for a company like SVB. Well, that's going to be a little tough going forward because that place went tits up. So actually, Jay might be a little bit more encouraged about this recent development, given her very publicly known proclivities. But yeah, man, here we go. Here's a little fun graph detailing the largest bank failures in history. Washington Mutual's collapse in 2008 is the only one that's bigger at $307 billion in assets at the time of failure. SVB, $209 billion, and then it just drops right off a cliff after that. With Continental Bank, IndyMac, 2008 as well, and then American Savings in 1988. Yo, it's not even close. While this might be the biggest event since 2008, it doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to be experiencing another great recession like we did in 2008, because that was all built off of the back of the housing crisis, and that's just not the case this time around. So we'll see ultimately what happens tomorrow, because that's when all the fireworks are likely to kick off, if there are going to be any. Otherwise, if there is substantial change that's happening behind the scenes, we're not going to hear hide nor hair of it. All we're going to hear is, did you see what was on the Oscars last night? But normally, that would be the point in time where I would like to sign off from the video, but just a little bit of housekeeping. I'm running a poll on the channel. I'll probably keep it up for about a week at this point in time. Considering doing a live show in the evening, once, twice a week, something like that. Something in the evening, just so everybody who's watching, still at this point, we can all just get together and discuss a bunch of stuff. I'll have, some of the bigger stories from the week. We can just run it back and, just kind of a cool, chill situation, because, yeah, this is more than likely going to be the last time you're going to see this presentation. I'm still working on some stuff in the background. Might be up tomorrow, but I highly doubt that. I'll probably be working for a few more hours here this evening, but that's totally fine. I'll be around, but if you have any more additional things that you would like to see changed on the channel, within reason, okay? Like, get an attractive host to get somebody with bigger titties. And it's like, well, I can't really just, go fucking pull some walrus out there. Like, come on now. You get what you get. Fuck off. But no, if there's any playlists, any sort of quality of life improvements that you want to see on the channel, like a couple things, is rearranged or something. If you guys like to see, or you guys like to watch some of the older content that's still kind of evergreen, a bunch of the stuff is just news related, so it's not really anything that you can go back and watch with any sort of regularity. I understand that. That's the game that I signed up for. But if there's anything like that, I'll be making those changes here probably this evening, or at least over the next course of a little while here, because I still have a bunch of old content that I need to burn through. But that's neither here nor there. You guys aren't going to notice anything different outside of when I eventually do launch the new displays on this channel, on the secondary channel as well. And then also, yeah, have a new format and have to figure out how the whole streaming gimmick works. But on the community tab on this channel right here, there's a poll that's going to be running. I'll keep it open for about a week so everybody can come through. I'm thinking either, I give you guys the option. I think that there's probably more open space on like a Saturday, maybe not Sunday, probably like my ideal, I'll be completely honest and transparent, probably Saturday evening, something like that. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Or something throughout the week, like Tuesday, Thursday, something like that. But if we want to do like a catch up stream at the end of the week, Friday or Saturday probably works the best. But there's, yes, the two options: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for the weekday evening stream, or if you'd like, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. No concrete start date on that boy right there, but I'm keeping my options open, and I'm really interested in your guys' feedback on that. If you don't want it, well, just fuck me then. I'll just keep to the regular content. But I've been engaging with you guys and you seem to like it, so I am here for no other reason other than to be a humble information servant. So yes, with the house cleaning out of the way, we can now end this and y'all can go on with the rest and the last little vestiges of your weekend, and we'll just bounce in to the next week with some more crazy shit, I will imagine. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.